Respectfully invite our own president, Aviation Round Table, Dr. Gabriel Pingaodo, to please come and deliver his welcome address.
I referred the keynote speaker this morning. Breakfast is over. The fall lunch is ready. We'll be out of here. I want to welcome you once again to Q1 business breakfast meeting of the only industry that we know. And like Nigeria Vice Chancellor said, everyone who flies is a stakeholder in Aviation Round Table. Meaning that Senator Kwan Council, Professor Utomi are our member beginning from this morning. They become our patrons right away. Because if we're all concerned about aviation, you will not leave us to the struggle alone. Yomi Jones is there. We started at age 20, we're now 70 plus. Extinguished species. This is useful. Looking around the table, all these 70 plus, we need a new generation that you, our politicians, will put in stage. ART, we are apolitical. We are not interested in politics, but we talk the business that we know. And that is clearly written, this is my paper out there, in our objective. And the objective is advancement of aviation in Nigeria through working relationship with government and knowledge sharing among stakeholders. Knowledge sharing, we don't know it all. Bring your idea, I bring mine. So, what matters to us is the future of the Nigerian aviation sector. In the last 50 years, it's been very sad. This is the first this year, and we try to measure, I don't want to measure the party, but time in the last 8 years. What has been our contribution as a body? We discussed a lot of topics, and I'll just mention a few where our political leaders should have gotten solutions. Some of them include Nigeria aviation infrastructure development and challenges, evaluation of safety and security performance of aviation agencies, short lifespan of airlines in Nigeria, the importance of corporate governance, Nigeria travel agencies, challenges and regulations, safety challenges in air navigation, air traffic services, Nigeria aviation beyond 2025, challenges and opportunities for Nigeria aviation value chain, Nigeria airport concession. This was discussed in year 2020. Utilizing interlining and codeshare agreements as tools for domestic airlines. Financing aviation infrastructure. Economic implications for granting multiple entries to Nigeria. These are some of the topics we discussed. And what do we do with our discussions? A communique comes out, we break them into pieces. Who is the owner of this task? This is a task, this is the owner, this is the timeline to get it done. So we simplify it for government. I will send it to them. Regrettably, in the last 8 years, our recommendation had 6% pass mark. In other words, whether you say it or you don't say it, it's your own. Some of the recommendations was 42%, and that the ones that were ignored, 52%. It doesn't matter. So we try to appraise this government in the last 8 years, and we realize that the two indices we can use for them is their own set objectives minus the industry objective. What do you want to do as a government? And number one, they said, give us a national carrier. We as the industry, we told them how to do it, but they did their own way. And that was why Professor Killer said it was hashed on paper somewhere on something, and then died on the Twitter, and then we gave all those recommendations the way the industry thinks it should be done. Zero. You know that airline today is neither here or there. National carrier was not born. National Maintenance and Repair Organization were neither here or there. Those are the set objectives of government. Fund airport concession. We recommended how to do it, but they're doing it their own way. It is not done. The only positive thing is that we have a CAA that is loaded with professionals, and we have the NTIB, formerly AIB, now called National Transportation Investigation Bureau. They have managed to sustain professionalism, and we have a good safety record. I think at that point we should put our hands together for those guys struggling out to give us a safe aviation industry, at least in the last 10 years. We thank God for that. That's the only positive thing in the 8 years of our assessment. Anyway, without trying to take the topic myself, because I actually embarrassed Professor Patutomi, let me give that confession here. When I caught him on phone, he was about to catch a flight. And I said, Prof, ART Q1 breakfast meeting is on so date. Say, I'm catching the flight, I said, Thank God it is your local government that you want to catch a flight. I hope you. He said, when I land, I will call you. That was his word to me. And I said, okay. Me too, I'm industry. Since then, Professor disappeared from my radar.
But I told you.
Professor Killer told me, don't worry. Don't worry, you call it breakfast, you may come for lunch. So all details about this meeting, I kept shooting his WhatsApp and messages. All the announcement by you, the media, thank you, the media, aviation media, you did excellently well. You are the industry. Without you, we can do nothing. So I was bombarding with all the releases with NOSA's captain without epaulets. Yesterday, the message got to him. He said, I know this professor can't escape. Thank God, the first flight he couldn't meet, second one brought him. If we have airline indeed, he will be here on the first flight. If there was interconnectivity, private model, he will from there climb the rail or the taxi, and he will be here on time. So some of my comments, without trying to read his paper, said we have few issues that I think must be addressed, and this include issues of negligence in our industry. Negligence. I think somebody mentioned that our industry is an essential service, and that is already endorsed in the Act. It's not even a proposal. How do I call negligence? When we have strikes in this country, what happened with, is it FAN, when they blocked the road to the airport? MMA2. There was no access to the airport. The airlines' flights were disrupted. Catering services that have prepared meal all the stakeholders incurred huge losses because of that. And what followed again, because of this negligence, I think it was NACO or SACO did another one. And early in the morning, where is Dr. Uba? He left. He called me around 5 a.m. President, I said yes. A flight has landed from Doha and is about to take off back there because NACO is on strike. A flight landed. I said, did you say landed and going back or went to a native route? Benin, Ghana or Togo? He said it's going back. And that was one of the biggest embarrassment this country could have because of negligence. Who is responsible for bearing all the losses of the airlines, the losses of the catering, the losses of all the stakeholders? Whereas the law says our industry is essential service. If it's essential service and you cannot handle the union until this happens, that is a major issue. It's a threat to safety and national security. That's the point to note. Somebody should take note of that kind of negligence and pay attention to it in the industry. Some of the pending issues that I want us to focus on is the way we add infrastructure to the industry. I cannot imagine how and why airport was built without apron. Where would the aircraft park? I cannot understand how we built an airport and the control tower is blocked. And that buttresses, my dear brothers, the message that government has no business in business. Allow the professionals to do it, but how would you recoup your investment, politician? That's why you do all the business. The light rail in Abuja, as I speak, does not connect to the terminal building. And so, aviation expects connectivity. And when we're thinking of adding infrastructure to the sector, we must think of intermodal connectivity. Another submission. The blue line is coming up in Lagos and the red line. I hope our governorship candidate for NNPP will be able to talk to Lagos State that the first place to connect is the airport. That's the first place to connect. From the airport to the sea line, to the rail, and finally to the road. That's the way connectivity is. Number one connection is the air. Because air connects nations. So we're just connecting from Makoko to Lagos Island. We're not talking yet. We're scratching it. We should start from our airport, whether the one coming up in Epe or one from Lagos, and then goes to the sea, and then go to the rail, and finally to the land. In concluding, ladies and gentlemen, those are a few points I just want to mention, and I want to pay tribute again to Professor Tommy. His days in Volkswagen of Nigeria still in my mind with relish, because I picked my Volkswagen, and Yomi Jones too picked his first Volkswagen there. How to make life better. We were trainees, and there was no way to do our business. And I was talked to Pat, and he said, "Come in, come in." We had all this arrangement. Yomi can tell you better. And we were all over Lagos with your brand new Volkswagen. I think it was 1,400 naira. Share rubber. Yes. If Pat could do that for us in those days, I think something great will happen even now. Aeroplane can come down. So, Prof, please take the mic and do what you did in the 1970s for us again. Thank you very much.